think that was a mistake. I hit the wrong button. Welcome to the show, and that was enough of that shit. But I want to tell you this: it did sound pretty good, though. I don't know. I got my blood flowing. Hello, everybody. Say hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
I didn't even go back to the chat, but Bart's already got us going here. Who all we got here, Bart?
That's it. AZ Cowboy 1 and Mr. Livewire. That's
AZ Cowboy 1. I'll tell you what, his name comes to mind because about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, I shot the video for our tournament for this week, and let's just leave it at that. But AZ Cowboy 1 deserves a big round of applause, or he's going to here pretty soon. So
nice.
Nice.
Of course, Kelly's here. It says there's 8 people here, but I only see 3 people in chat. So there's shy people here. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So how's things, guys? What's been new? What's been going on?
Don't all speak at once.
Oh, you got anything new? Anything exciting happening in Pittsburgh area?
Right, nothing happened today. Well, not nothing. I mean, I went to see my parents, so that's a good thing. My boy actually had today off, so he's not normally off on Sundays, and he really wanted to go. So, and we went up there, and my nephew, who loves video games too, he broke out the flashback, the Atari flashback that I bought for my parents a few years back. And of all things, he put on Hangman. And the whole family, after dinner, we sat there and enjoyed Hangman together. We're all trying to guess what the word was. So that's pretty wild, playing this 40-some-year-old Hangman game and actually laughing and having a good time with it. So
excellent.
Pretty cool.
Excellent.
The family that plays Hangman together, Hangman's together.
AZ Cowboy says there should be a 6-beer minimum before we start the show.
Yes, there should.
What makes you think we didn't already have 6 beers? Oh, Greg.
And yesterday was
a minute in, so he must have had his beers. Sorry, folks.
Need for Speed Day was yesterday, so and I really wanted to play that again today, but there wasn't time. But I got into that, started it yesterday, and I wanted to keep going.
Now, are you guys playing that? Both of you guys, you two are Mike and well, you're playing on that PlayStation 5, right?
I am.
Are you, Mike?
Yeah, I'm playing on Steam.
Oh, you're playing on Steam. Okay. Yep. Because I'm really curious. You know, Derek and Derek's in the house. I think Derek and I played cross-platform, but we played a cooperative. What was it called? Derek put it in the thing. It was called a party or something. Or
you could build a crew or something like that. It says on there.
Yeah, but we have to run around together. I know the cops. Well, I put a video out on it. The cops were after Derek. They weren't after me. I just sat along the side and was watching them involved in the chase. He kept swinging by me. It was pretty cool recording. But then I said, well, I got to get involved. So I just bashed one of the cops, sideswiped him, and then the cop, they said, oh, you're involved now. So they were after me. And we both
that was hilarious. I love that video. That was great.
Yeah.
I did take and put I always put not for kids on mine, but that one I did put an age restriction on just because I want to feel like a responsible adult and not let young adolescents, of course, you're just going to stop them from looking at it. You know, I think that's crazy anyway. You put that on there. How many 13-year-olds are saying, yeah, I'm 18? I mean, they just take your word for it. But, you know, I think, here I am going, man, I'm going to wipe out this cop. Here comes Popo. I'm going after him. Bam! I'm setting a great example, aren't I? But it's still too much fun. And being a fireman, a retired fireman, nothing feels better to me than smashing a cop car.
Yeah,
I like the old. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I was watching Greg that video with him and Derek, and then I saw Greg crash into someone. I thought it flipped to a truck sim video.
Hey, I got some videos coming out for Truck Sim. I got to play in Truck Sim, and it's just too easy. You know, if my viewers are getting tired of watching truck sim videos, well, just don't watch it. I mean, I don't know, but I know I put one out once a day, but I've got them because it's just too easy to hit record, and I feel like I got you riding along with me. So I enjoy the chatter, I enjoy the ride, but I set a goal for myself to make this long trip. I did. There's one coming out here pretty soon. And I wanted no offenses, no accidents or anything, and I pulled it off. I think I went from Corpus Christi, Texas to someplace in California. And I made the whole trip without an accident, without a ticket, without a violation or anything. And that to me was an accomplishment.
Nice.
Big deal. It wasn't exciting, but I made it. But you tend to do that, don't you, Bart? That's what your goal is, right? To try to keep it as true to form, and
yeah. I try to drive as realistic in truck sim. In Need for Speed, it's every once in a while I take the throttle off the floor, and usually that's like an eighth of a second before I T-bone someone or head on. Yeah, that game is straight out balls to the wall all the time. But yeah, truck sim, I try to drive it as serious as I can. Hey,
I know
Chaos is in the house.
Who's
Hey,
that?
Chaos.
I'd really like to try to get Mike and Poe both in, because I think Derek told me that I think the PlayStation 5 will cross-platform with us on Steam. So I think the 4 of us or 5 of us can get in a good bash them up.
It's supposed to.
Yeah, my problem right now is it's keeps telling me to change my password. Now I linked EA online with my PlayStation Network years ago, probably PS3. So it said that I needed to change my password because it's been a while. And so I do that, and it's still not letting me go in there and do anything. So I don't know what the deal is.
I hate that login crap. You know, I got mine when I got Need for Speed. I same thing. It says create an account, so I put in my usual credentials I use for that kind of crap. And it says you already got an account. And I thought, well, and Travis was here, the unknown gamer, and I said, I don't have another game by this place. He goes, yeah, you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, yeah, you do. You know, typical dad and son thing. And he goes, pick up your Switch. So I guess, even though it was set up on the Switch, I got an older version of Need for Speed on the Switch.
Right. Yeah, and there's so many different games, even I think like Plants vs. Zombies and the Madden games and stuff like that. Right. I don't remember what year I set up that account, but now, and who knows what email address I used when I set up that account. You know, I've gone through different providers, internet providers since then too. So,
AZ Cowboy 1's asking, because they're talking about cars in that Need for Speed. What year was the General Lee? Was that a 68 Charger?
Oh, gosh.
It was somewhere right around there. Late 60s Charger, I think it was.
Yeah, it's a 60s Charger.
Yeah. I want to say 68. And if no one else is going to say anything, we're going to go with that. It's clearly that's right.
I'm going to go with 69.
I would Google it, but my phone left in the house.
I picked 69.
69,
69, dude.
Prices have gone up so much. There's 69 is no good anymore. It's a 96. Who didn't play?
Just turn the opposite way and go to sleep.
What year was the General Lee? Let's see who was right. Okay, put your vote. Bart, quit looking. Oh, quit looking.
Yeah.
I want to say 68. My phone is being used as my camera, so I can't look anything up anyway.
Yeah, I was in the middle of typing it, but my space bar got stuck, so I couldn't finish typing.
So what did you say, Mike?
69.
Derek's saying 69.
Well, 69's got it.
Yes.
So everybody wins with you, Cole. You're a loser.
Yeah, I want to say 69.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going with. I got the ball rolling, and everyone else just didn't want to copy me, so they went to 69 just to be different, and it was all luck. Yeah,
I just wanted to go with Bart because he was old, and I figured he'd know better than Mike.
He is old.
I am old. Chaos says we should talk about some of the greatest racing franchises. This way he can go buy some.
Need for Speed.
Need for Speed, that's a pretty serious
Need for Speed
franchise.
and there's also one that I got that, I tell you what, this just floors me because I'll buy a game. Of course, everybody knows we communicate, but we don't communicate on everything. And I was looking around and I saw this game. I can't even pronounce it now. It's a Forza something, and I buy it, and I do a couple practice with it. And I think I'm going to record a video for this. And I turn on YouTube and here's Bart running it. So I go like, okay. Now if I put a video out on it, they're going to say, okay, look, Bart got the flight sim, then Greg got the flight sim, then Bart got the truck sim. And I thought, can I get one thing? So I just put a video up on anyway. But that to me is a neat.
Yeah, that's a racing sim there. I actually bought that Assetto Corsa about the time we started dabbling with X-Plane 11 in VR, because I was looking for X-Plane and on Steam, and I don't know what it costs now, but it was like $5, kind of like the Need for Speed, and it said it was VR ready. So I was like, okay. So I bought it, and I never played it until just the other day. So I did a PO. I had a game for 2 months and didn't even play it. I'm not quite up to Poe's record, which I think he still has some games that he bought before we even met. And
that's terrible because I got an email from this place in the UK the other day. They have these games for the Dreamcast, new games for the Dreamcast that right now they're like, these are the last few copies of these games. They're for sale. And once they're gone, they're gone. And they had them for pretty cheap. I'm like, yeah, I think I want to order those games because I don't have hardly anything for my Dreamcast. I think I've done one video on my Dreamcast so far. So I go to order these games, and I see these other games on there that they had for sale. I'm like, I bought that one new game like 2 years ago, and I don't know where it's at. I never played it for a video or anything. It's sitting here somewhere. So I have a brand new game for the Dreamcast that I just had to get to make a video on, and I have no idea where it's at in my house right now. So, and it still has the shrink wrap and everything on the thing. So,
I'll tell you what made me decide to buy it. You said you were looking at your VR stuff, Bart. Derek was talking to me when we were running truck sim about this sim dashboard. I've got my Stream Deck to control a lot of stuff, but it works great. I got an old tablet. I mean, this tablet's old. It's a Galaxy Tab 3 or something. And then I never give the old phones back because they're great MP3 players and you can do neat stuff. I got 1, 2, 3 old phones that I've got laying around. Because, my kids get rid of them. They say, I'm going to get rid of it. I said, give it to me. Anyway, so I got a phone and a tablet hooked up there for a truck. And it's great. Well, then I looked on it, and it told all the games that were compatible with it. And that Corsa, however you pronounce it, game, was listed in there. So that's when I went to Steam, and I said, wow, that's cheap. It was, like you said, $5 or $6. So I just bought it for that reason because it was compatible with this. And I knew it worked with my Thrustmaster steering wheel. So, like I said, I bought it, and then the next day I hadn't released a video. I said, what's Bart driving? What the hell is he driving? I just got that program, damn
it. That's funny. Bo, I'm gonna leave this up there. I've left it up there for a while because I didn't want it to scroll off. Chaos is saying he loves the Atari sign. Where did you get it? He wants one.
Oh yeah, I got that from Derek. I won it in a bet that I was better than him at pinball. No, just kidding. Derek, out of the kindness of his heart, sent that to me because he's a good dude, and I got to see how he got this for me from Amazon, and it came. I saved the box here. It was hilarious. Now, it was for Post-Style the Popeye Expert is what it was addressed to. So
nice.
Yeah, that thing is awesome. I love it. That's my Atari neon sign. And this is a temporary setup here. I got to find a good permanent home for it, but I wanted to hang it up here tonight over my green screen for the show. So.
Nice.
Nice.
That really is
sweet.
nice.
I think a dust devil just went over my whole thing. Just started shaking. I think a dust devil went by.
Hey, Possum Grits.
Anti-M.
Yeah, I could end up in Pecos if it gets too big.
Hey, you know, we've been talking racing sims and stuff, and I don't think anybody knows this except Mike and myself. But while we're at that, I've got a short, not a post-out link, but just a short little video of Mike doing some racing sims. So if you guys want me to go into that, we could
Racing
do that real
sims.
quick. Mike, you want to say anything? You want to say anything about it real quick?
Are you shirtless in it?
No, I had a shirt on. Sorry.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I did play the Grand Theft Auto 5, but that was kind of bad because I had stayed up really late trying to play that game, and I just wanted to do like a destination run, and the cops ended up killing me like a lot in that game. So I'm like, I'm not gonna put this up. So I decided to play Need for Speed. So yeah, that's where it went. I just like, yeah.
Okay, I'll run it.
All right, let's see how we do. I'll try this perspective. Hey!
Good luck.
Oh, dang it. Hold and stab. Okay.
What's up? Engine
Oh. The left trigger. There we go. That's E brake. That's Y.
all good back there? Come on, we're only halfway. You can make it up. This one's going down to the wire.
Second place.
Nice move. There goes the paint job.
Oh, I got first place.
We
Nice.
have a winner. Great job.
I don't know how I pulled that off. Wow. All right, do your selfie. You got first place.
Oh, looks like the car handle's okay. Listen, I got some business in town to take care of. Best thing you can do with all that bank is get yourself a nitrous kit. What the shit, Rivera?
Oh, there's
Think
Kenny.
You can put on a race and I won't hear about it?
That was the plan, Kenny.
Well, I'm here now, and I'm about to give these beginners a little taste of the Speed Boys.
Everything is really lame, crashy races you got no business being in.
You step out on these roads and you're fair game. You hear that, grapevine?
Is he talking to me?
Damn right I'm talking to you. I'm numero uno around here, and don't you forget it.
Did he just say numero uno?
If you do nothing else tonight, beat him, please. Watch the paintwork. Right, almost there.
Okay.
Anything else I should know?
Finish the race and we'll talk. This is it. Let's see what you got.
Bumped Kenny out of the way.
to try to film you when we're driving.
Hope you get a good shot of my rear end.
Shut up.
Get lost, Kenny.
All right, let's go. Hopefully we can win this.
Stinky tailpipe.
Out of my way.
Kenny stirred.
Watch the paintwork. Hey! Heads up! If you want to drift, try slamming on the gas the next time you take a corner.
Get out of the way.
Hey, you're getting the hang of this.
Oh, get out of the way.
Pretty good so far, rookie.
All right, here we go. So far I'm first. If I don't lose this. Avoid off-road.
Don't
There we
relax
go.
just yet. I'm right behind you.
Oh boy. Nice, I got it.
First night, first win.
You got lucky.
Nice. First place.
I got some dope shots of you in the race. I can't wait to post these.
Alright everyone, I'm gonna probably end this video, but I got the first place out of the 2 races, which is pretty awesome. Here I am bumping stuff again. But yeah, this game is really pretty cool. I enjoy playing it. I want to get another car. Hopefully I have enough money so I can buy a Dodge Challenger. Maybe I can get a Hellcat or a Demon. That would be pretty awesome to get. But yeah, so far so good. Really digging this game. And hopefully, I can get my other car and win more races. Until next time, everyone, gaming is your road to adventure. Take care. Alright, let's see how we do. I'll try this perspective. Hey!
Good luck.
Greg's playing with the chat. He couldn't stop the video.
Well, the problem is I didn't realize they should stop on their own, but somehow I clipped loop on the video, so they just restart themselves. So when I saw it going again, I thought, what the hell?
You had me laughing out loud, Mike. You just
I just got to
slamming into everybody in there. I'm like, I never thought of that when I was racing. You even hit Anna or whatever. I called her anal when I was playing a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say at the beginning there, I could tell that Mike had studied up by watching Greg's video because at first lap, he hit every single barrier, I think.
He didn't go in the water like I did.
Yeah. But Mike, you were winning that second race by so much that you head-on collided with another car and they still didn't pass you. I'm like, "That's trash." I thought every time I had a wreck like that, I went from first to worst.
Oh, man.
The second, and
That was me playing live.
Yeah.
You guys watching yesterday, and it's like, yeah, I'm in second. I'm doing great. Next thing you know, I'm number 8. I'm like, what in the hell happened? That's it. I'm done.
Yeah. It's crazy. I thought when I saw you head-on collide with that car, I'm like, oh, no, he lost it now, and nobody passed you. I'm like, what the heck? That's awesome. That is awesome. Good job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially I wanted to push Kenny out of the way because he's the guy that's always bragging. He's like the first place guy.
Yeah.
Because when I watched your guys, I'm like, oh, I want to target that guy to get out of the road. So I kind of bashed this car.
Yeah. See, now on that one, and Poe, I watched you play it too, and I think, Greg, I saw you. It's one of the first ones where you jump over the little part of the water and inside the race, and then you do that drifting by the boat. I kept wanting to catch one of those guys at the right time and knock them off the side of the jump so they land off in the water, but I never could.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
And I watched your latest video on that, Bart, and I wanted to tell you, just remember this Alt X. Who the hell would come up with Alt X to enter? That's how you exit the game. Alt X.
Oh, nice.
Sometimes
every time I'm like, how the hell do I get out of this thing?
I know. I sat there forever, and finally I Googled. I actually said this into Google. Hey, Google, how the hell do you get out of Need for Speed Heat? And it said, hit Alt X.
Nice. Well, I think I'm going to take Derek's idea, and I'm going to set up a deck board with all the generic key command. Not like, in train sim and truck sim and all that. And flight sim, I have buttons that do controls. But I'm just going to set one up that's like pause, bring up the map, exit, quit, and all that stuff. But Derek points out Poe the Aquaman heat racer. It's half of a racing sim and half a submarine sim when Poe's driving.
I'm James Bond. If there's water, I'm going to find it.
Yeah. But, that's a fun game. You did great, Mike.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I think, was playing pretty. You said he did run into a lot of stuff, but he was playing pretty. When he first started out, I watched it, of course, ahead of time because I was getting ready for the show. And at first, I thought, Mike, you're just going too damn slow. But, there's something to be said. The brake is your friend in that thing of keeping the speed down and staying on course. Because the only other thing that gets me, it's not like a simulator video, and you can hit. I don't know how many light poles can you hit down. It doesn't seem to slow you down. Hitting light poles doesn't seem to slow you down one iota.
You run right through a palm tree.
Yeah.
You should have horseshoed the whole front end of your car.
Yeah.
That thing just sends shrapnel. But
you could tell I was like, that was like my first time playing it when I'm like hitting every obstacle in the game. Because I heard Poe, he's like, wow, this car handles like way too was it curvy or whatever? You were really trying to
loosey goosey, yeah.
Yeah, Poe is so right. It's like I couldn't really hardly steer, but after going through the laps, I got used to it. I'm like, okay, this is how you play the game on it. Because I'm trying to find where the e-brake is.
Yeah,
that's going to be your friend. Because it wanted me to use the other trigger for the other brake, and it's like that's not a good. Because it just slows you down. I want to use the e-brake to do the drifting.
Yeah, I think it's a little easier using the e-brake than it is their version of drift, where they tell you to hammer the accelerator around the bend. I don't care for that as much.
Yeah,
no, I couldn't get it to. But you talk about that e-brake. The problem is, what are you using, Mike? An Xbox controller?
Yeah. Yep.
See, on the steering wheel, Bart. I don't know if you're using your steering wheel. I'm sure. The problem is, it's the XO square triangle. One of those is the e-brake.
I think it's the O.
Right, but if you're in a tight turn and you want to hit that or turn, it's kind of hard on the steering wheel because sometimes your steering wheel is upside down when you decide you want to hit it. If you're,
yeah,
it needs to be like on one of the trigger buttons back here or something.
Yeah. I've actually gotten used to when I'm going into a curve, just feather the throttle and then stomp it again, and I'm getting better at getting into I can get into a drift really good. It's just sometimes I can't get out of it when I wanted to. And I end up sliding into something. Or that one race I was in first place and I drifted when I didn't intend to. And then I off the side and then I overcorrected and came back across. That's one thing though with a controller. It's much easier to correct because you're moving that little joystick where when I got my steering wheel turned on a 900-degree wheel and I need to go the other way, sometimes I'm late getting back. Yeah. I got to get better at just subtle,
Now,
but
when Derek and I were racing together, I told him to hit Alt F1. Oh, no, wait a second. That was on the truck sim.
Yeah.
You remember that, Bard?
Right. You shut it down. He crashed.
I said, Alt F1 will help let you take a picture through your video card. Well, I guess not on his PC. It doesn't because it just set him into a ditch.
Yeah. See, now Derek says the e-brake button needs remapped. The whole game. That's my my one gripe with this game is you can't go into the settings and remap buttons the way you want them. And
you can't
it doesn't
use
even
dual.
tell you what they are. You're just like, okay, trial and error. I found the e-brake because I was trying to hit the NOS when I was trying to get one of those go through the gate at 130, and I was at like 127. I went to hit NOS and I hit the e-brake instead, and I'm like, son of a! Hitting the brake does not have the same effect as hitting NOS. Just for any newbies out there. But yeah, I really wish you could remap everything.
Yeah, and I wish you could use dual controls because, you know, like the way I've got my setup now is my steering column's right here. I've readjusted, but I got my keyboard on the table to the left of me, and I got my Steam Deck, so it's all within reach. And, you know, it'd be so simple if spacebar was, for example, my e-brake, because I could have my hand on the wheel up here and just mash down on that spacebar, but it doesn't work that way. You know, gosh, matter of fact, I hit spacebar. Wow. Now, see, even in StreamYard, that hitting the spacebar does something. You can't get it. I can take and delete the chat and put the chat right back in with the spacebar. That's kind of cool.
Derek says, did you set your wheel degree to 900? No, my wheel was already set at 900 because that's what I have it in Truck Sim. And I didn't change anything. It defaulted to 900. I guess I could go into the heat settings. I guess I could change that to 270 and not mess up my Truck Sim settings.
Well, he's saying it's in heat, but I didn't see. He says I left mine set.
Well, I usually stop listening to Derek whenever he starts talking about something being in heat because it doesn't end pretty.
Well, but I just don't remember any settings for the steering wheel, and other than it telling me what it just was, what it was.
I thought I saw it in there somewhere. I don't know what'll happen if I open it over here on my screen.
Well,
see, I can't even get into EA Poe. It asks me about the EA login, and I just set up my EA account last week, and I already forgot the password. Son of a...
No, there's so damn many passwords for all this crap, and you got to remember all this stuff, and then log in. And I buy a game, I just want to play the son of it, you know?
Right.
I don't know why they just don't link that, and they say, well, I read up on it. It says, well, you got to log in for your online activity and your scorekeeping stuff. You're already logged into Steam. You bought it through Steam. Let it, because I think American Truck Simulator, it does with your World of Trucks. You do have to log in to do certain things, but like, for example, I did the Oklahoma event for World of Trucks. Well, it's automatically logged in through Steam. When you sign in through Steam, they're linked. So as long as you're logged in with Steam when you're playing the game, it logs you into that World of Trucks thing that you got to create an account with. So that's the way it should be, damn it. Damn it.
All right. Let me see this. I'm going into settings right now.
Well, while you're doing that, though, Bart, I wanted to kind of move along and ask you about, I'll tell you something that's cool. I stay awake during your racing stuff. All you guys, when you're racing, it's just so exciting. But when you're doing that train thing, it's so calm and relaxing. And the scenery and the train chugging along, I woke up and there was drool coming down. You know.
As you were playing that Need for Speed meat, that's why.
That train, have you guys watched this train one? The train one is, it's just so surreal. I mean, you know, just and that it's like being that 6-year-old mom and dad's car, you know, and hearing that drone sound of the road, you know, and
it's kind of interesting though, because you can derail your trains, and you're managing the brake as much as you're managing the throttle in that thing. Because I have it set on realistic mode because, you know, that's the way I roll. And things like the map, if you watch the video, you'll see it doesn't put an arrow on the map telling you where you are. It's like you're in a train and you pull out a map. A paper map doesn't magically show you where you are on the map. So I'm trying to figure out where I am and didn't realize it was a downhill. And I was going like 70 into a corner that was rated at 40. And it started making some wacky sounds. I think I was about to go off the cliff. But Yeah, it's and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for a simulator that you have to drive the train and not just set it and forget it and look at the pretty scenery. But you can do that better than in truck sim. Well, truck sim's the worst. You always have to pay attention when you're driving a car. Flight sim, you have a little more time. As long as you can keep it semi straight and level, you can look around. But the train sim, yeah, if it's level ground and you're at a good speed, you can look out the windows and look at the scenery and do all that stuff. And just check periodically. But I'm loving it. It's an awesome game. I'll be playing that tomorrow morning, recording for Tuesday, and I can't wait.
I'm going to start doing something new. You talked about viewing things. I'm going to start doing something different in truck sim. I did it in one of the videos I haven't put out yet. And that's because I went to a place that I've never been in real life, much less in the game. So I pulled over, and I'm going to start doing this. I'm finding places to pull over and using that walk around mode to snap pictures. Of course, I wish I could get away from that. I know you can hide the settings in the camera, but you can't hide that camera viewfinder. At least I haven't figured out how to do that yet when you're walking around, because it always shows up in your video. But I'll tell you, I think that's the only way you can really enjoy a lot of things in truck sim is make sure you got plenty of time in your job and pull over and get out of the truck and walk around and look at stuff.
Right.
Well, not to give it away, but I stopped at the Grand Canyon, and I'd never been to the Grand Canyon. It was kind of cool because even though I know it's animated, it's pretty doggone good graphics.
Yeah. I haven't been there yet in game. I've been there quite a bit in real life, but never in game. So I look forward to checking it out.
Train and Need for Speed crossover. There you go.
He's thinking I drive the train and everyone else tries to derail me. Nice. Derek, what with cars? You just pull right in front of me in your car while I'm in my train, Derek. We'll see how that works out. I think I might win that one.
Well, I did find a website, and I've heard there's other people have talked about. There's a place where you can actually buy a real nice Dodge pickup, which I own it, white Dodge pickup. And there was a place that had a white Dodge pickup mod you could buy from them. They sold the mod for like $20, and you can put American Truck Simulator and actually drive, and you can haul some pickup loads or stuff in a trailer that'll hook up to the pickup. I don't know. That is kind of cool that you drive a Dodge pickup truck around that game.
I saw a Reddit thread where they were talking about those mods for regular cars, and they say the trucks drive better than cars because everything's using a semi-truck model and they just scale it down. So if you're trying to drive a Ferrari, it's still not going to handle like a Ferrari. But someone asked, why do people do that? Why would you want to drive a car? And talk about keeping it real. I know you and I like to drive as realistic as possible. And I hope Derek doesn't, because I've seen him drive in game. I hope that's not how he really drives. But this dude said what he does, he has a mod. You and I, we have garages. Well, everyone has garages. You start off with a garage. But he has a main garage, and then he has a mod that has a house that puts it in the town where his garage is. And he'll get in his car mod, drive to his garage, switch to his truck, drive a job back, get back into his car and drive and park at his house. As if he's a real truck driver, leaving from his house, going and picking up his truck. And I'm like, I like realism and stuff, but that might be going a little too far. I don't know, but I give it to him for his dedication.
There's another YouTuber I started watching. He's probably got about the same amount of subscribers I got, so I don't know how long he's been around. But he does exclusively, from what I can tell, American Truck Simulator stuff. I was watching his the other day, and he's got and he doesn't give any commentary though. You just watch him. And I don't know. Some people may like that. I personally, when I watch yours, Bart, and I like to listen to what you got to say. It just kind of passes the time. But anyway, it's still cool. He has a good channel. But I noticed his gal that he's got riding with him, which he hasn't spoke about her because he doesn't talk. But she moves. You know, she kind of nods and
Yeah.
expression.
Derek has one of those. Derek has a chick that moves in his truck. I tried to find one of those that had an animated girl over there, and I found one that had 5 different animated because I didn't want to get just the same one as that Derek has, because then if people watch, they get the wrong idea about Kelly. But they wouldn't work. None of them. It wouldn't even show up. So I don't know, but they are kind of neat, those animated girls, because they'll look around, like you said, and they're not just staring at one spot.
The one that Derek had in his truck kind of looked like Poe.
He's got the Poe mod.
I think she might have had more facial hair than Poe.
That's funny. Oh,
hey, now that we digressed, you know what started this whole thing? Not for all of us, but Bart and I started this out with pinball months ago on our tournament thing. I've got some stuff going on that's going to be end a lot quicker than I thought it was going to. I should be all healed up after tomorrow in 2 weeks. And I'll be back next week with the group. It's not that big a deal. But so I think I can get with Bart if he can get with me, and we'll get this tournament going for maybe starting around the 1st of October. Is depending, you know, I'm saying that I haven't talked to Bart about that ahead of time, but hopefully, you know, no promises, but we're looking to shoot for around that date. Maybe about this. We'll give you about the same accuracy that Zen does when they're going to release something new. Or
right.
American Truck Simulator is supposed to come out with Arkansas. They just announced that, but I can't wait for that. Matter of fact, I've been saving up my money. I thought I'll be the first to buy a shop and another truck in Arkansas, but now I want my shop now. I want another one now.
And they seem pretty consistent. Do they give you guys a roadmap of what they're doing and how soon they're doing it and everything?
They kind of, but not specific. They will announce the next couple or 3 states that are coming out. We already know Kansas is next, and then Nebraska, and then Arkansas. And my guess is Missouri is next after Arkansas. But they kind of there's a pattern they kind of follow. It's so people are thinking Kansas will hit in November based on prior releases. So they kind of give you a heads up what's coming. Sometimes they're a little sneaky Pete about it. Mike would like that because he sometimes drops hints about his videos, but he doesn't tell us what his videos are. But sometimes SCS will put out a couple of random screenshots of locations in the state, and then people start guessing. Mm-hmm. And then someone inevitably within a few days will post the screenshot next to a real shot from that same location and be like, yes, it's definitely Nebraska or whatever. But so they kind of announce and they go 2 to 3 states per year is what they've been doing. But now they're working on 3 states at once. And they've also leaked that they're looking for people. They're sending coders out here or somebody, I don't know, scouts. And they're looking for places, people volunteering places for them to stay while they look at, and they mentioned Arkansas, Missouri, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois. They mentioned a bunch of states where they're looking to go around the state and take pictures.
Oh, that's cool.
And the CEO, owner, I don't know, the guy who started it, he had said in a live stream before they released Texas, I guess. This is before we got involved. I'm learning all this from Reddit. But when they were releasing Texas, they did a live show, and he said he wants to focus on getting Route 66 finished. So we know where they've gone so far, and they need to get up to Chicago because Chicago to LA is kind of the Route 66 path that you got to go. So everyone's thinking, yeah, they got Kansas and Nebraska, then it would be Arkansas, Missouri, and then move over up into Illinois and get up to Chicago. and get around the Great Lakes. So I don't know. Some people are saying in the East could be a long time. And they're like, oh, I live in North Carolina. They're never going to get, but they might have Pittsburgh sooner than you think if they go up to, Illinois and Indiana and move east from there to try to get to New York City. Pennsylvania could be in the lineup, if they go to get to Chicago and then want to get to New York City, which is what some people are thinking. But
I did Route 66 and from Chicago to Tucumcari, New Mexico. Matter of fact, one of my old YouTube channels has a video on it, 2-part, one from Chicago to Missouri, and then one from Missouri to Tucumcari. And it was, but you can't find Route 66. I don't know. I should get started on this. Route 66, you can't find the old road. You can, but a lot of it's interstate, and then you got to jump off, and you can find an old section because certain interstates ran across it. But I know that the only thing I want to share with you tonight is, since you brought it up, I hadn't thought about this in a long time. There's one section of it that I was riding the bike along, and it was like concrete road with an islands in the middle with a lot of grass growing up in it. And I realized we were just nowhere, and I had to slow down. You couldn't go that fast. The road was kind of rough, but all concrete, and there was cows standing in the middle of the road. And there was an old post office still there, an old gas station, old buildings, and the buddy of mine that was with me, a little more braver than I was, he started running around in this in Texas. He started going through the old gas station, rummaging around, and I heard the sound, and I told him, I said, we're not from down here, and I said, I've never heard one live. I've heard them on TV. I said, that sounds like a rattlesnake's rattle to me. And he came flying his ass out of there right away. But I mean,
wow. Yeah.
But it was interesting.
I had to get me a rattlesnake just the other day. It was coiled up right outside Shelby's door. She couldn't get into her house. Oh. And strangest thing ever, it never rattled. I ended up catching it with the pinchers behind the head and using the shovel to relieve him of said head. But one time when I was trying to grab at his head, it did one little, the whole time it never rattled. I was getting that poker thing, the grabber, all around his head. It never struck. It was the weirdest thing. But until after I cut its head off, and then I bumped the head that was severed, and then the mouth opened then they get mighty. But actually, I grabbed it with the grabber, and Shelby actually cut its head off with the shovel. She got down and dirty with the rattlesnake. But I'm not a big fan of killing wildlife, but when you got rattlesnakes in your yard, they got to go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and by the same token, I've had black snakes out in the back of my house, and I leave them alone. They don't bother anything. And if you get, especially out here, it used to be fields. We get field mice real bad, and the field mice problem is pretty much solved once those snakes start moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, anyway, I was changing the subject when we got off on this to talking about pinball. I think it's pinball time, and announce the winners of the tournament in next week's tournament, if you guys are interested.
Sounds good to me.
And if I can find it. I hit that space bar earlier and did some stuff here, and okay, now I finally found it. We're back.
Yeah.
Here we go. Tournament time on the show.
Okay, it's pinball time, and look at this. Jurassic World Pinball. Arizona Cowboy 1. That's Cowboy 01. Up there, I believe, is our Arizona Cowboy 1. 26,703,423. Tony's Jorgen. He got Tony's. Good grief. And Mr. Livewire. Good grief. Tony's got 22,848,000. Pixelatorium Derek, 11,397,050. Mr. Livewire, 1970, 7,589,108. And G. Parker at the last place position. I took your spot, Derek. Hope you're not upset. 7,288,781. don't forget, we are going to be starting that big tournament coming up here real quick around the first part of October. So anyway, keep joining in. These are a lot of fun, and congratulations to Arizona Cowboy 1 for the great win there. We got to pick one for this week. Let's go over here and create a tournament. I have a table in mind.
Create tournament.
And that is, if I can find it here, it's one of my favorites. I always have trouble finding them. I'm just going to take my time. Where did it go? I had my eye on it earlier. There it is. Championship Pub, just one of my favorites. I really like the call-outs on it. I just like the game in general. Private tournament, 5 days, everything else stays the same. GPARKER. Let's hit OK. Let's create and play. Let's play this thing. Play again. Championship Pub. I just love this pinball table. It seems like it's not talked about much. It's I don't know. I love it.
Welcome to Champion.
I think the callouts are hilarious.
I'm your coach, kid, so pay attention.
Said I love it already drained. But no ball save. I forgot about that skill shot. I like this. It's got the jump rope up in the corner. It's got the fast bag. Upper left is the jump rope. Top right is the fast bag, speed bag. And then, of course, you got the bouts with the big boxer there in the center. Let's see if we can get him turned around for a bout here. We're not going to do that if we keep playing this way. Okay, tonight's fight. That's right, Knuckles O'Brien versus the Kid. Here we go.
I'm O'Brien.
Oh, let's see if we can get him. Oh, missed him. No. I was knocked out. Okay, there it is, Championship Pub. I think that's it. Oh, wait a second. I guess I still got another ball. Okay, now, watch for that 2 million to come up. One. Now. No, I missed it. You hold the ball launch. I guess I did have a ball save. Oh, I got multi-ball? See, I've got the volume turned down here. I'm not hearing it because I didn't hook up my headset. If I don't do that, it's also recording the game volume and my mic volume unless I have my headset on. So I'm not hearing the call out, so I didn't realize I had a ball save earlier, or whatever caused me to still be able to play. Knuckles O'Brien. Oh, got a ball locked. Okay, not so good there. no match, but 3,215,000. Okay. I have a pretty busy week this week, but I'm hoping I can get back in here and see if I can improve on that. Okay, back to the show, everybody. This week's table, Champion Pub. Back to the show.
Nice.
Nice. I can't believe I forgot to get into that loan last week. I got so busy, and then next thing you know, it was over. I am going to bring my Switch to work tomorrow. They're going to make me work extra days. I'm bringing my Switch for the downtime.
That's right.
Play pinball.
I like Champion Pube. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I think the last time, we didn't play it because I think Mike didn't have it. So, you know what? He's not here anyway. So,
Right.
Yeah, I think it just to let everybody know, I wish I'd have gave him a chance for final thoughts. He did tell me that he had to cut out to go pick up his boy around this time, I think, and I doggone if I didn't forget about it. So should have gave him a chance to say goodbye. But he may come back before we get back, but I don't know. I don't know how long a drive he's got to do that, but I know he has to.
Right. Yeah, and I didn't see if he was trying to signal us. I'm going to go ahead and pull his blank screen off the screen. But yeah, that championship pub. Hey, talking about the big tournament, I know we're going to talk about it amongst ourselves too. But did we ever decide, or did anyone in the chat or any of the viewers say, do we want to do FX3 or FX, or what are we doing? And if we do FX, are we going to let people play on the Switch with the same thing, and we'll just have to look at their scores, and they'll have to trust us that we checked the Switch and these players got this score and these players got that score, because they won't be able to see each other's scores. But what are we thinking? Are we doing FX, or are we going to stick with FX3?
Yeah, if it's too complicated, we can just stick with 3. It was just an idea, you know.
My 2 cents on it is I would love nothing more than to go to Pinball FX. I would love it. And as far as the work it creates for us, not that big a deal. We're doing it once a week. Bart, you keeping a great spreadsheet, and all we'd have to do is, if we wanted to split up the duties, I could say, okay, I'll keep track of the Switch and give you those numbers, and you can take care of the other one. I mean, we could split it up to where it'd be fine. I think the biggest concern I had with it is the fact that most everybody that I know that have been watching in the past and in our tournaments in the past have all of the FX3 tables and have FX3. I don't know if we would miss out on, well, take for example, and I haven't spoke to him. I don't know. Matter of fact, the only time I really communicate with him is on when we have the tournaments, because I think where he lives, this is too late for him. But on this show, but balls are slapping anyway. I know he's got all the tables on FX3, but I think he might have been one of the guys that said he's not going to go out and rebuy the tables on FX. You know, some people are in that situation too. So I'm giving you the information as I see it, and then it's up to everybody else to decide. But I got to think about those poor people that didn't buy FX because they didn't want to double dip. Yeah, I get it. Oh, there's Mike's back. Let me get him in here. And hey, I do understand that, and I'm fine either way. I just figured we could just talk about it while we're live, and we do have a handful of people here. AZ Cowboy said he's down for whatever. Keep the score in Discord somewhere if people can't see each other. But we do still have that problem with it in FX3, whereas if you create the tournament on Steam, everyone can play, but Xbox players can't see PlayStation scores. So there is still that little bit, but we just always show them, like Kelly was saying, we'll put the scores up on the screen if need be. If people start complaining, we'll just display the scores. We'll take screenshots from Switch and from. So I do understand what you're saying though, Greg, is that some people may not have them both.
And then Derek's saying here, is it worth talking about FX or FX3? You can play it on whichever system you want. The problem is some of those tables, if we went to FX, I would want to play like the Grimtails and some of those ones that aren't on FX3. So you would be limiting the number of tables. If you're limiting to tables that are on both anyway, we might as well just play it on FX3 so more people have access to it.
And with that being said, we plan on doing more of these in the future. I mean, it's too much fun. Unless just something falls to crap on it. But I would say let's do one more FX3 one. And in the meantime, start researching how we could cross-platform it. I get what Derek was talking about one time where people could submit their own scores. And I don't have a problem with that either. But, then we become like, well, no, they're not. No, they're doing it where people they're grabbing the scores off too. So I don't know. There was one group where I saw where you were having to take a picture. There was one group that I was involved in. I can't remember how they did it.
Yeah, on Facebook, you had to do that.
You had a magic word that you had to put down. Well, no offense to people. We got a good bunch of people here. Certain people just didn't follow the rules, and you couldn't see the name. They had a word of the day. That kept you from taking a picture of something you did months ago. They wanted to keep it active. And it was just, to me, it seemed like a royal pain in the butt, especially for the guys that are, I mean, I hate to say it, but Bart put all the work in the last one as far as I did the videos, I set up the tournaments, but Bart kept track of all the scoring, and that to me is the most tedious part of it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Maybe we just tell people now we're going to do FX3 for this one. But be prepared if we're going to do another one in the spring, start buying tables. Because we might at some point we're going to want to switch up to FX.
Oh, I agree. I think definitely,
because we'll just be leaving too many new tables out, and and then the debate will be: do we include Pinball M along with the FX?
That's where I was going next.
Halloween special tournament.
What's that? Cons gang got that. I like American the one that's digitalpinballleague.com. He does one table, FX table. Now Cons group that's got a Discord. I like their group, but they got too many. They've got a Star Wars one, and they've got another one, and they got multiple ones going on. And it's too many for me, the player. I hate to think how the guys that are tracking that. And I think they got a few hundred people that are signing up for these things at a time. So I don't know.
Yeah. So Derek was saying that if people could submit their scores through the form will add all the scores to a spreadsheet automatically.
Right, but that's counting on people to submit their scores themselves. And I just don't want to sound like a jerk, but I don't like that idea. I like the fact of being able to document the scores on the board ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we could still verify it. We'd still be able to see the scores on the thing. And if anyone falsifies their thing, you don't get any points for that.
That's true.
Keep people out. Let them know. We will see the scores. If you submit that you got 27 billion and we look up and you had 18 points total, that score is getting thrown out. Yeah, Poe, we were. I don't know which way to point, but we were looking at you. We were looking at Poe wherever
Let me ask this, and again, I'm one of those devil's advocate guys, which people hate. So you can hate on me if you want. But the other thing is do the participants want to have to go? I mean, we talk about the trouble we go through. Do the participants want to go to that much trouble too? I mean, as a participant, like in that digital pinball league, I like the fact I can get on there and play, and I get off. If they told me I had to go to a website and submit my score, how often would I play? I might say, no, I don't feel like doing that this week.
Right. Yeah, and I don't mind. It doesn't take me that long to pull the scores off the scoreboard. Obviously, when we do get to the point where we're playing the Switch, or the FX, and we have to, the Switch players can't be on the same scoreboard, because I just log on to Steam and I can see everybody's score, and I just pull them off, and I type in the scores, you know, and then I just tell it to sort it by who's winning. And that's, you know, the spreadsheet does most of the work. It's just a little bit of typey type.
Before Bart came along, I was lost because I don't know how to put together a spreadsheet and have it collate everything and add the scores together. And, you know, when we first did this one as a cooperative effort, I know the first week after that, he showed it to me and it tallied everything up. And I said, "Oh, I found me a scorekeeper." So it works.
Yeah. The hardest part is setting up the spreadsheet, but once that's done, it does all the math. It does all the. I just have to type in the scores and tell it to sort it based on who's winning. So
the only other thing I plan on doing is this year is doing the same thing I did before. I know I had some complaints about it, but I don't like using the, what do they call them in FX3, the wizard scores, because that means the person who's played more, like, let's say you got a guy that, like, I'm just going to use the example, Poe. I think you mentioned it one time. You may not have the time with the job you have and everything to get in and play these tables over and over and over to win those wizard abilities. So I like to keep it where it's, I mean, come on, man, it's a competition. Let's keep everybody on an even scale. You're playing the damn game like you would in an arcade. You're not getting all these fancy scoring abilities.
Right. And it's just like when you play at a real pinball tournament. You go to a pinball tournament, a lot of those tournaments, they turn off extra balls. So you only get the 3 balls. We don't go that far, but we're not going to give you the bonus timers and all that, and 10 times automatic on skill shots, because, like you said, not everybody's played it that often. And some guy that's mastered that, you're going to win anyway if you played it that much. So why do you need the bonus? That's my point. Yeah. You know, Mike, if the 4 of us did a tournament, Mike's going to kick our butt at the Star Trek ones because he knows that table, and he usually beats us anyway. But on that table, Mike would be the last guy to say, "No, I need those bonuses," because he'd be like, "My bonuses will be higher than Poe's scores. So why would I need?" So,
but the other thing that I like to do too is I like to mix it up and make it a little challenging and throw a little luck in there. And I know toward the end, let the tournament flow at first, but then toward the end, make it a little tougher. Those weeks I had 1 ball, 3 tries instead of all balls, unlimited tries, and kind of back and forth. And I think the final one, look, we pissed Poe off, but anyway, I think the final one was 1 ball, 1 try.
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, that makes it that's like football, in my opinion. You know, you notice when you get it ain't like baseball where you get a series. You're in the playoffs, you lose, you're out.
Yeah.
You're done.
And here's a thought, Greg. Since we're talking, and it can be a test bed for us as well, because we know it'll be coming in the future with FX tournaments. Let's not leave out the shoot. I was going to say, let's go ahead. We could put in a couple Star Wars tables and Marvels. And if people on the Switch have to play it on the Switch, that's fine, because I would have access to it and I could pull those scores and merge them in.
Oh, start a tournament at the same time. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we could do the Steam Star Wars table and start a Switch Star Wars the same table the same time. And then we would just merge the scores. So if people want to play on the Switch, they have to play it on a separate program, so they won't show up on the same thing. But we'll get those scores. And
I do like that idea, because it's a little more work on our part. But I do like that.
Yeah, I don't think it'll work for Marvel though, right? Because they don't have the Marvel tables on FX3 on Switch. So it would just be the Star Wars tables would be available. So maybe we'd throw in a couple of those.
And we'd make sure, I think all the Star Wars tables are the same, but I don't think there's any extra on. We'll have to make sure that the same Star Wars tables are available on both platforms equally.
Right. Yeah.
I want to make sure when we started, when I'd say, okay, Bart, I'm starting the Star Wars table on Steam. Check your Switch. Well, I can check mine, I guess, because I've got them all and see. I started doing that after that week I screwed up anyway. I'll be honest with you. I grabbed my Switch and put it down by that pinball machine. And when I'm going through picking out tables, I'm also looking over. If you notice, I'll look over the side and make sure that son of a gun's on the Switch too, because I did that one week.
Right.
Picked a table that was not on the Switch.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see if like the Mandalorian's available on both of them, because that's a small pack. So if people don't have it, they don't have to buy a big pack that costs $10. They can buy that one that just has the 2 tables. I think Mandalorian comes with that one and the collectibles or something. So be a little friendlier to people's wallets if they don't have it and all they have is a Switch, you know. But we'll see. We'll see when we're doing the table selections. We'll see how that goes. But
we'll look to kick it off right here on this show sometime the first part of October, and I think we'll plan on running either 8 or 10 weeks. I think that's a good time period, because after that 8 or 10 weeks, you still got a few weeks of the elimination tournament,
right?
And I'd like to be done with it by. Well, it'd be after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Still.
Yeah. It's going to be after Thanksgiving, but we want to be done before Christmas for sure. So.
And I think I'll still offer up the trophy like we had before, and a couple gift cards. Just nothing big. I don't know. I know one time we talked about $1 billion prize, but I just can't seem to swing that this time.
Yeah. Yeah, we were going to see if we could get Elon Musk to sponsor us, and he was busy launching rockets or something.
That's all right. I'll just sneak into Mike's room there and pick out a couple prizes. There's a couple nice things there.
Right. Right.
Well, I kind of want to make I don't want to make it about the money you're winning. I think the little trophy. I think Champagne Room, and I know that Balls and Slapping seemed to be more ecstatic about the little trophy, because I know it's neat. You set it on top of your pinball machine. It's a silly little trophy, goofy looking little thing, but I like giving the same one out. And the trophy place that's near me seems to have an adequate supply of that one for now, anyway.
Yeah, and I do want to say though, right now, early on, Greg and I, we always exclude ourselves and our wives from the playoffs. But just because Mike and Poe are in this show with us, I don't think they should be excluded, because they don't have anything to do with the scoring or anything like that. This whole thing is me and Greg are running the tournament, so they are eligible to knock Champagne Room off of that pedestal. Where Greg and I aren't.
Mike has a good chance of placing in it. I think it was pretty easy for you to say that about Poe, when you consider there's not a chance in hell he's going to win.
I want that trophy.
Yeah.
You're going to send me a trophy maybe shaped like a turd or something.
Right. Well, that's why I didn't even bring up Derek. Derek might have something to do with the scoring and all this stuff, but we're going to let him in it anyway, because someone has to hold up that bottom tier.
Mike's a better racer in the Need for Speed too. What the hell?
And it is 2020-23. You got to remember, everybody's a winner.
Right. Oh, have you not noticed the pattern yet? You can say Mike is better at, and then just leave a blank, and whatever we're playing, it tends to work out that Mike is better. And I'm blaming that on he's the youngest of all of us, so his abilities haven't declined as much as ours.
I can't read anything on the frickin' screen anymore, and I'm dumb enough to play stuff live during the week, and I can't even read the screen while I'm playing it. So it's just like, here's a new game I've never seen before. I'm going to play it for you guys now, and then I'm like just sucking all over the place. But it's a lot of fun doing it.
Why don't you take my place tomorrow? Take my place tomorrow and get this eye thing and tell me if it works or not, though.
Right. I just want to make it clear that if, Mike might play a game and get 10 times my score, but if me at Mike's age was playing against Mike, he would only triple my score. Not that crap. I'm telling you. No, Mike's pretty good at all this stuff, but I expected that with some of those gamings. But Mike, you really impressed me with the pinball scores because I thought, oh, here we got Mike. He doesn't even talk about pinball. And then the first week he gets in there, me and Greg added together wasn't even Mike's score. I'm like, what just happened? Then we let him on the show anyway because we're good guys.
I noticed Derek in the chat. I didn't notice if he put it up, but Derek put in there about how how Champagne actually did his live.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty kick butt of him to do that because he didn't have to do it that way. But I'm sure that it had to add extra stress. But it sure made that exciting that he.
For those that might be watching that don't know what that's referring to, Greg said the final round was 1 ball, 1 shot, and Champagne Room played it live on the internet when he did his 1 ball, 1 shot. And even though he was pretty dominant all year, the whole way through the tournament, he was pretty dominant in there. He was nervous. You could tell. I mean, he was.
That's the one thing about 1 ball, and you got to remember he was up against the 2-time winner from before.
Yeah, 2-time champ.
There's been 3 tournaments so far. 2 have been balls of slapping, and 1 has been Champagne.
Yeah, I think the next time that happens, we're going to have to do that and put it live on our channels, make it like the WrestleMania or Super Bowl of the season.
Yeah, see if we can get him to play it on our show. And, that would
if anything, cool. Even if they don't want the pressure of doing that, I think we ought to have something where the top 2 winners, kind of like, in the Super Bowl or different sporting events, they'll bring the winners on the next day to the Letterman show or the Leno show back when, the Tonight Show. It'd be nice to have them a guest appearance of the winners on the show and maybe play around a pinball or something live for us if they got the equipment or so equipped to do so.
Right. But should be good. Should be fun.
But that's all I had for tonight, guys. I don't know unless anybody's got anything big. Mike blessed us with that beautiful rendition of running around town,
whooping all of our asses.
Right.
Oh, I was sucking in the beginning. I was like hitting everything. Like, oh man, felt like Greg.
Right.
The only thing that game's missing now, they've definitely gone a route with Need for Speed that's more of a Grand Theft Auto thing, which they should, because Grand Theft Auto is so freaking huge that they've been on Grand Theft Auto 5 for like 95 years now, right? They haven't done anything else with it. But the only thing missing is pedestrians, right?
Oh yeah, there's no people on the game. Yeah,
right. And Grand Theft Auto, you can do the same racing, but you can be running over a group of 20 people while you're doing it. So,
right.
But it's a ton of fun. I don't even know if this is the newest Need for Speed or not. I think when I looked it up, it said 2019 for this one, so there might be a newer one that's out. But the price is right on this one for sure.
Yeah,
I think that's why the price was. I think that's why the price was down where it is. I think there either is one or one coming out.
All right.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't look it up, but
that's kind of the thing with the Switch too. Every week I mention it, but I don't want to beat the horse in the ground because other YouTubers are doing it. I think the Switch something's going to happen in 2024 with the Switch. I just don't know what. And the big question is going to be can I play my old games on the new Switch? Are they going to continue to make stuff that'll work with my new one, or my old one, or is it going to go out the door? So many people have said that Nintendo is notorious for changing the platform completely.
Yeah.
They said they think they'd be ridiculous to go away from a portable / console because this one was so successful.
Oh, and I don't know if you heard it. You had to step away last week, Greg, and that's when I mentioned the AI upscaling for the next Switch that they're doing. That this last thing that this expo that they did, they brought the new hardware, or at least the specs for it, to show people, but they didn't present it to the public. But some people got to see it behind the scenes. And the upscaling they're doing for it is close to what you see on the PS5 and everything.
Oh, wow.
So it's an AI upscaling for this. And supposedly what they showed was Zelda Breath of the Wild again, which was a game that came out for the Wii U and the Switch when the Switch first came out. So I don't know if we're going to get another Zelda Breath of the Wild for the new Switch when it comes out. They're talking about releasing the new Switch next year. Whether it's backwards compatible or not, who knows? But we'll probably see another Breath of the Wild. You'll probably still see, in my opinion, you'll probably see Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. You know, I don't know if they'll ever move on to Part 9 or not. I think they'll just keep adding more tracks to it. So
I know that the guy at GameStop one time showed me an ad that had been sent to them, just lay on their counter, you know, little flyers. And I even tell him like this, I said, I hate your store, but you're the only place in town. But he's nice enough. He's one of the nicer guys out there that says, hey, I understand. So, you know, I understand why you hate what you hate about us. But he told me one time, he says, you know, we always talk about the Switch. And he says, explain this to me. And he showed a game. It was a Zelda game. But I'm not into Zelda that much, but it said Zelda. I don't know what version. But it says, soon to be released in 4K. And he says, let me ask you something. He says, Nintendo doesn't make a 4K unit. So he says, it's either a misprint or they are coming out with a Zelda in 4K, and it's either a little Easter egg hidden thing they put in there, or somebody wasn't supposed to release that yet, and then they put it on the paper anyway. But he says, that tells me that that there is going to come out a new Nintendo item that's in 4K, because I don't think Nintendo has, even the OLED is not a 4K
right.
unit.
No.
So that's the only thing that I've gotten that I actually saw and put my hands on in real life was that guy at GameStop showing me that flyer.
Oh, sorry, I'm reading the chat over here. Kelly puts up, there's an old man and a little kid walking across the street. Which do you hit? To which Mike promptly says, the old man. And Kelly says, the brakes, you crazy guy. you hit the brakes, Mike. What is wrong with you?
I like your answer, Mike.
At least he hopes he didn't hit old Poe.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to do my final thought first, since you're telling jokes like that, and I'll use my final thought time to tell my joke for the day. The old woman that hollers out to her old man and says, "This is way back in the day when there's nothing but outhouses." And she said, "The outhouse needs to be fixed, Frank." He goes, "The outhouse is just fine." She goes, "You need to go out the outhouse. It needs to be fixed." And he goes out there. He says, "Nothing wrong with the outhouse." She goes, "Frank, the outhouse needs to be fixed. Stick your head in the hole." He says, "I'm not sticking my head in the hole." She says, "Stick your head in the hole, Frank. It needs to be fixed." He sticks his head in the hole. He says, "It stinks in here, but it ain't nothing need to be fixed." And she says, "Pull your head out, Frank." And he goes, "Oh, shit. My beard got caught in the cracks of the seat." She goes, "Feels good, doesn't it, Frank? Get the seat fixed." It wasn't as good as when I read it. I don't know.
You didn't have your ukulele. That's why it didn't.
I'm past the final thought. I'm going to let Bart handle final thoughts. That's it for me. If you guys got a bunch more, I'm good.
Mike, you got anything? Mike, you're going to have to get going here shortly, aren't you?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'll pass on my news. Yeah, I'm still working on the Zelda vid, but there's another thing too I wanted to talk to you guys about. If you've ever played Tomb Raider 1 through 3, they're coming out with the remastered edition on the Switch. So you can you can go for the more modern graphics look, or you can go like me and go to the pointy, ballistic looking Lara Croft from the PS1 days. So if you want the PS1 graphics, you can go to there, which I highly suggest. She looks better that way. Or you can go to the, more natural looking Lara Croft. Yeah.
Yeah, Greg, if that's one that you haven't played, I suggest you look into that one. It's a fun one, and I think Greg would enjoy the Tomb Raider, the original Tomb Raider game. Yeah.
And it's coming out on the Switch, or it already has?
It's coming out, in February of next year.
Okay, I'm gonna make a note of that. That sounds.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy it.
I do like that stuff. So that's fine.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. And I'll catch you guys later. I got to take off to go pick up my kid. So see ya.
All right, have a good one.
See you, Mike.
Yep.
Take care, Mike. And I said I had to go, but I can stick around now that he's gone.
It worked. Oh. All right, Poe, what do you got?
Well, since let's see, iArcade, I was messing around again. Went back on the Discord for the PAX RS, and somebody, I can't remember the name right now, and I don't know if Polo is in the chat or not. He's on there quite a bit in the Discord. Somebody's going and cleaning up a lot of the releases that were already made in there, and they're making all of the control screens and the background screens and everything. So you can re-download those if you don't have them, if you want it to look nice and clean, you can re-download those and put them on there, and I've been doing that. And Joust is working now. People have Joust. I know that you already have Joust on an arcade 1-up, so you don't need that. Ninja Turtles 1 and 2, they've made it now so that you can play the 2-player and select all the characters. Same with The Simpsons. For a while there were only versions on there where you were stuck with, since you only had 2 controllers, you could only be the first and second players in those games. So they've messed around with the ROMs where you can choose all 4 characters now. Same with Sunset Riders. So it's nice that they did that. And somebody put some hacks on there. And I wasn't going to mess with those at first, but there's a Donkey Kong hack on the Donkey Kong 2, which is not just Donkey Kong, but somebody made whole new boards and everything. Really good one on there that I downloaded today. There's another one that's Donkey Kong Pauline that a guy made so many years back for his daughter. His little daughter was really into Donkey Kong, but she wanted to know why she couldn't play as the girl. So you can play as Pauline in that one. So that's pretty cool. And Donkey Kong ME or Donkey Kong Me is on there now. And that is really cool. They did a lot of pop culture type stuff from the 80s. So it's all the first board of Donkey Kong. But you can play the Gremlins on there. Right? You can play, let's see, what else do they have from the 80s? Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Really cool stuff. And I wanted to make a short video of that today, but I didn't get to since I was visiting my parents. I put that on the machine, so maybe next week I'll have a short clip of that. But they have some of the sound effects from Donkey Kong, but they put like music from the different movies and stuff on there. So it's more than just a reskin. It's Donkey Kong, but like I said, you have the Gremlins and you have Flash Gordon, stuff like that. You can choose which skin you want to go with. So really cool stuff that's on there that aren't just original arcade games, but new stuff that they put on there. So nice. Check out the PAX RS if you have the board and everything, and you're putting games on there. They got a lot of stuff right now on that PAX RS to put on your iArcade. And I got me a Vincent Price. I don't normally collect toys, but Vincent Price, and it's grayscale. So he's all black and white. He's got a raven with him and everything. I thought that was cool.
King of horror, man.
King. He is the man.
This company, they kept coming up on my Facebook, and I kept looking at this thing, and I kept saying, "Nah, I don't want the thing." But I would click on it and go to their site. And the one day this past week, I went on there, and it said only one left, and I thought it was BS. They're trying to get people to buy this thing. One left. I clicked on it, and I did buy the thing. It was like $20. Yeah, I clicked on it. I always loved Vincent Price. I clicked on it, and then I went back later in the day, and sure enough, it said out of stock. So I did end up getting the last Vincent Price. So I was pretty happy with that. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but we'll probably sit on my iArcade too, along with my Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant.
Here's a question for you: If Vincent Price got to do the wild thing with Elvira, what would that make?
Oh, another riddle
All of
here.
us jealous.
Insert Vincent Price laugh from Thriller there. Huh?
Yeah. I just made that one up. That one just struck me. Yeah.
Well, it's better than my toilet joke. I can tell you that right now. You know, the best I can say about that toilet joke is it went to quit real fast.
That's better than the joke. That's good.
Yeah. Hopefully this week I'll either get the Popeye 7800 or I'll get my MASH 2600 video from Mike that I've been meaning to do. I didn't get to anything this
I want
week.
to see the MASH was one of my favorite shows. I love MASH. I can't wait to see the MASH come out. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, such a good show that was. But yeah. All right, that's about all I got. I don't have anything really for final thoughts. I got to work again this week, and during the week that's cramping my style. So yeah, I'll be doing. I didn't even do. I was going to do Flight Sim Friday. I didn't even do it because I was like, you know what, I'm going to play the train again because I was having fun. So I did Train Tuesday and Train Thursday. So yeah, I'm just playing those Sims. I did switch over to Marvels for the pinball, and I was going to do an iArcade video playing some classic game, like you were saying, Poe. You were going to throw one together, and that's what I was going to do for today's video. But anyone that watched my video today, it was Need for Speed because I felt like playing that, and I'm like, I'm just going to record it. Like you said, Greg, some of these things it's just too easy. You just launch it, start recording, and then you just go drive around like an idiot, and people, can laugh at you. So,
have you ever played Satan's Hollow?
I have not.
That's a fun old arcade game, and it's kind of like a Galaga game. Hard to find the thing now. It's hard to find it, and the ROM wasn't working. I tried to build it and push it. I guess there was something wrong with it. Somebody put that on there now, and they did the nice overlays and everything for it. They got it working now. And I looked it up a while back. There was no home versions of it made. Now, somebody made a home version for the Atari 5200, and I bought it a few months back from Atari Age. Now, this was when Atari Age was clearing out everything that they had that was unlicensed, so it's not for sale anymore. But they're so far behind in shipping stuff, I haven't gotten it yet. It's been a few months now, so I should be getting it any day for the 5200. So at some point, now that I have it on the iArcade, I can make a video of the original arcade version and the 5200 version. But it was really cool because the stick that they used in the arcade for the thing was the Tron stick, only it was red instead of blue.
Nice.
But it's like Galaga, but you're trying to build a bridge over, and then you got to take on the devil after you fight all the demons, Lucifer and everything like that.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
I'll have to look that up. Yeah, I got some looking up to do. Apparently, they've been busy over there, and I am falling behind.
Yeah, there's a lot of posts on there. They've cleaned up a lot of stuff and, added the graphics and everything for a lot of games on there and added a lot of new games too. So, and somebody got that Shredder's Revenge where you can play online with buddies. I think you originally put it on there.
Right.
So if you get your Wi-Fi going somehow, somebody said they played 6-player on there with buddies somehow. So.
Wow. Yeah, we'll have to look into that. Get her going. So, Bosconian, please. Possum Grit says. Bosconian, that's a fun game.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff you started bringing up about the arcade reminded me of a couple of things I just want to mention real quick tonight. There's some news that came out from At Games, and that is, first of all, that At Games 4K pinball is coming out. Evidently, they've made a deal with Zen Studios, and right now, especially our good friend Digital Victory does a lot of videos on the At Games pinball that he's got, and he also has his computer hooked up to it so he can play the FX games and all that on it. Well, I think At Games has come to a deal with Zen Studios, so their new machine is going to have some. But then in connection with that, you guys brought up the iArcade. I've got the At Games Legends Ultimate, which I admittedly have not fired up in a long time. I've been playing these PC games and Switch games and pinball. But they're going, from what I've understood, last thing I read from them, is they're going to an a la carte purchasing. Right now you've got the games that came on it, and then you got the games that you could get with their Arcade Net. You pay for a monthly subscription. They had those. And then they had stuff like the pinball packages you could buy, Bart. Now, I don't know if they had games like that you could buy, but now I heard they're going to have, I think since iArcade went out of business, that's what iArcade did, was they a la carted. And I think that's what At Games is going to, is they're going to, the only thing I hate about that is At Games did not build enough memory inside their units. So if you buy a game or even you add a pinball, I don't know if it's that way on the pinball machine. I'd have to ask Digital Victory, but you have to have your own thumb drive to plug into it to put those games on.
Right.
But that's just something I heard that At Games is going to go to that, and we'll have to see how well that goes. I just haven't turned mine on a long time. I need to get it back on. I don't know, but anyway, that's all I had to say about that stuff.
Yeah, I will add this. Now that they're talking about this big At Games and Zen merger thing, some other stuff was popping up on Reddit, and I haven't been following up. I'm like you. I haven't turned my At Games Legend Gamer Pro in a couple months now. Apparently, there's another new firmware, and if you're using the One Sauce, I switched over to One Sauce from the what was it before? What do you use, Greg, for all those? I don't know. Yeah. Oh gosh, but it broke One Sauce. Right now, One Sauce is not working. So the newest firmware, you don't necessarily want to get that firmware until they iron out the bugs, because some of those Coinox X and One Sauce, I think Coinox X is working with a tweak, but be careful with the new firmwares. If you're running any of the Coinox stuff for the One Sauce to play the classic arcade games on your At Games products, use caution.
See, that's what always scared me, especially at first. They were coming out with new firmwares like every week. And every week somebody was getting on their Facebook group saying, now this shit doesn't work or that doesn't. Matter of fact, one time, I think Coinox X, you couldn't exit it unless you're in Bluetooth mode. You know, if you know how you can hook yours up Bluetooth or wired, and I always like the wired connection myself.
Right.
But you had to switch over to Bluetooth just to exit it. And so, yeah, that's always been a concern of mine, because you want to know the truth. The only thing that really makes me halfway happy with the At Games when I first got it was I knew that I could put that sauce on there and play Galaga and Pac-Man, because the games, and Donkey Kong and a few of the classic games, because personally the games that came with it weren't crap. You know, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then I started getting used to the arcade net games. There's some I found that I really liked, but no, so I'm glad you told me that. So caution.
Yeah, caution with the new firmware. And Polo mentioned that's the other big talk with the 4K pinball table. I've heard different stories, but the consensus is that it's a 60 hertz screen. So it's not a 4K 120 hertz. So some people are turned off for that. But it looks like the pre-orders are going to be around $1,000 for those 4K pinball machines. I still feel like you could build one from scratch for a lot less than that has better specs.
And better computer. I mean, I built mine for probably about that. And that was, of course, I got a Micro Center close, but which is fortunate. But I even built my own PC for it, and I still think I got out cheaper than $1,000, and it's a good PC.
Basically, what you're paying for is the fancy. They showed a picture of the Addams Family skin on it, and it looks beautiful. It looks great, but I mean, I could put together a machine for $500-600 and buy the side art. So, I don't know.
I like the way I painted mine. As a matter of fact, people say when I first got them, I'm not that good a finish guy. I can carpenter all day long. I'm just not a good finish guy. And the more I look at them, when they were new, you thought, man, you wish they looked better. But now they look like they've been in an arcade a while.
Yeah.
Which to me, the paint's kind of rubbed off where the hands go. And I didn't put the T-molding on the first one. The second one I did, which eliminated that problem somewhat. But yeah, to me, and then I bought those signs from Hobby Lobby, those metal signs, bang, bang, boom, Batman things, and I just screwed them to the side. Hell, people from a distance will go, man, that's a great paint job. I go, that ain't paint, that's signs from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, I'm not a finish guy either. I always say I'm a wood butcher. I can rip through stuff and I can rough frame the hell out of stuff.
Yeah, me too.
If you want a nice finish job, there's a reason why my house doesn't have drywall yet, because I'm not a finish guy. It's like, but
who needs
I can
it
put
anyway?
stuff together.
Who needs it? If you need to run something outside, just drill a hole in your wall.
Right. That's what I did when this summer when it was really bad and I got to where I needed to run the generator sometimes because it was so hot yet so cloudy, so my solar couldn't keep up. I took me an extension cord and then that was bad, cut it, drilled a 3/16 inch hole right through my wall, shoved that wire through the wall, put a new end on it, and ran the other end out to the generator so I can plug my AC unit directly into it, because we just use a window unit that's mounted into the wall.
Yeah,
so I can cut holes in walls and put a
use a nickel's worth of caulk around where the wire went outside, and you're done. Walk away.
Yeah, and it's behind the insulation anyway, and it goes through the wall of the outside behind where my grill sits. No one can see it. It's fine. It's beautiful. The big thing is it works. And so that's all I care about. But, I'm a bit of a wood butcher. So my pinball machine looks rough. Yours look great compared to mine, and but you know what? It worked, and until I gutted it to put together this thing. It worked great. I could nudge the thing, and
the biggest savings I got on that was when I wanted to put something over the screen, the bed. So I wanted a piece, and I didn't want regular glass. I didn't want kids getting hurt, so I needed a piece of tempered glass. Well, I know a guy that works at a glass plant that makes tempered glass, and he says, well, what size do you need? I mean, right down to the 1/8 of an inch. I said, I need, and so that's why I made 2 machines. I told him I wanted one. I said, what do you want for it? Nothing. I'll get it for you. You got it. He brought me 2. He says, it's just as easy to make. So I said, well, he says, you can save it. And I said, hell, I'm just going to build another machine the same specs.
Build a machine around the glass. That's the way to do it. Yeah. I figure, the cabinet art, and I'm not trying to bag on it. Those ones that Arcade 1-Up put out were beautiful, and they look awesome. But when I'm playing, I'm looking at the play field. I'm looking at the back glass and the DMD. I'm not looking at the side art while I'm playing. So I'm more about function than
me too.
Than fashion. Anyone that sees me more than just, I'm a jeans and a t-shirt kind of guy in real life, and that's function is more important when all this stuff comes. That's why my whole desk is just screwed together chunks of scrap wood. But
if you saw mine right now, if you could see this whole thing, this is a big sight. But that's another story. Hey, I'm done for tonight. We've made it 1 hour and 50 minutes, and you guys will stick around for maybe an after show a little bit. But I'm ready to shut it down unless you guys aren't.
Yeah. I think I've said. I said I didn't have any final thoughts, and then I talked for 10 minutes. So. Yeah, I'm good.
I jumped in on you. Crazy.
I'm good. Bo, are you good?
Yeah. Oh, somebody did get a pinball with a pinball arcade APK Android thing running on their iArcade too. So there's that. I don't really know if I would want it running on mine. I watched them play in Funhouse on their iArcade, but
No.
I think if I did that, I would want side buttons on the thing, for flippers. But
Yeah, that would be a novelty at best, just to say, "Hey, look, it works," and I'd never.
right, exactly. So I thought
Yeah,
that was neat too. But
They do have pinball on the Ag Games Legends Ultimate, which I don't hardly ever play because I've got the other units that I can play on a bigger screen that are more proportional for it. But it is kind of fun sometimes when I got people over that say, "Hey, you got 2 real pinball machines?" Yeah, and I got 2 of these digital ones. And then, "Hey, you want to play it on the arcade cabinet? You want to play it on these?" I can set up 6 pinball machines at one time if I want to. So
Nice, nice.
But yeah, that was all I had.
All right, sounds good.
Well, I
Thanks for
want to
watching,
thank everyone for showing up. I did see that Hollywood Polo was in there. I didn't get a chance to say hi to him, but thanks to everybody that showed up. And thanks to Stretch Armstrong. Good show, guys. Let me know if you want to chat about or anything. Yeah, we'll get with you, Derek. I'm going to be busy for the next few days, but I'll be back soon. All right. Thanks, y'all. Let me find where's the exit button?
Me and Poe are just going to awkwardly wave and stuff while Greg tries to figure out how to work this, because we're only, what are we, 20 weeks into this? 21?
21 weeks, and I
don't know which button to push.